Okay, this is a tutorial video for Prelude number 4 by Vandall. What I'm going to focus on in this tutorial is showing you how the pattern is really consistent. We're focusing on mostly broken fifths, and if you practice those broken fifths blocked, you'll be able to learn this piece pretty quickly. So I have my assistant here to help me video. The first measure looks like this on the keyboard. So notice right away that we don't have the same fifth, right? That would be too easy. We have F, C in the left hand and A, E. So it's a third or really a tenth higher. Now let's look at the music. If we look at the second measure, it's just a third higher. So I'm going to move both hands up a third. Look at the third measure. That's a step higher than we are now. So look back at the keyboard. I'm going to move from here, where I am in the second measure, up to here. Then in the music, you'll see that there's a crossover in the music. It says LH2 and the stem is down. That shows you that your left hand is going to come up from where it is and cross over like that. In the fourth measure, that fifth that we have in the left hand moves up, but the only thing that changes in the right hand is that we add one note. We even cross over to the same spot. So here's the third measure. And then to change, we just move up one and add that extra note. Okay, we're going to keep going now because this second line is almost the same. We start in the same spot. We also move up a third, just like we did. Then we move up a step and cross over, just like we did. In the fourth line, though, we skip down instead of what happens here. So let's look at what that looks like. I'm going to practice these blocked a lot so that I can see and feel the patterns better. So here's from measure 5, the first measure of the second line. Skip up, measure 6, step up, measure 7, don't forget your B flat, cross over, and then from where I was, I skip down. And this time I cross over to a third lower. Let's listen to what that all sounds like starting from the beginning. This will be probably faster than you'd want to play it at first. Skip up, step up, cross, step up, cross. Now go back to the starting spot for the second line. Skip up, step up, cross, and skip down from where you were. Now I'm on the third line, and if you look closely, you'll notice that these two measures, you already know them because they're the same as these two measures and these two measures. So these two happen twice. So you'll start here, as you did in the second measure of the piece, and go up and cross over. So let's play the third line now. We have up and cross, then we do it again, go up and cross. Now I'm on the last line. You can see we have still these fifths that are a third apart or a tenth apart, and it's a new pattern, but it still has those fifths. We go down, 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 and then we cross over. It's not until here that we have something that's not a fifth. This is the first part of the piece where we have something that's not a fifth. Also notice that after your left hand crosses over here, this note changes. So maybe circle that note. So we have left, right, left. Let's try that from the beginning of the last line, measure 13. Here's my fifth. In measure 14, second measure, it goes down. Remember your B flat. Down again in the second half of measure 14. And then the next measure, we got E flat and B flat, right? Then we cross over. And the last line, if we look at the music, I forgot to show you this RH. So we've got left, right, left. So on the keyboard, it looks like this. We have left, then right. That's our non-fifth. That's a sixth, isn't it? And then we cross over here. When you get to this note, your right thumb will go with it. So that's kind of twisty. Sixth, cross over, and right thumb changes. Okay, let's keep going for now because these first two lines are exactly the same as the first two lines of the piece. So I'll play those for you a bit faster, but I'll still talk you through them. So this is from the top of the second page. Third up, step up, cross with left hand, then left hand up, cross again, back to your starting point, second line, third up, step up, cross, and skip down, cross. From this point, I'm now at measure 25, the third line of the second page. My pattern starts to kind of tweak a little bit. I've got my fifths, but here, maybe circle these because these are sixths. I also have crossovers. These two notes, you can see that the stems are down. That's showing you that that's your left hand's note. Same idea here. We've got fifths turning into a sixth here and a left hand crossover. That same pattern continues here with just fifths and crossovers. Another fifth with a crossover and fifths with crossovers. So let's start here and see what that looks like on the keyboard. Measure 25. I start here. So again, fifths that are a third apart. So they're not the same. They're a third apart, D and F. But this time, I'm going to just move my lower note down so my fifth becomes a sixth. So in measure 25, you have this. In measure 26, you have this. And then you cross over. Measure 27, we have this. So continuing to go down. And then we lower that lowest note to this at the end of the line in measure 28. So lower to a sixth and cross over. And we keep going down. So in measure 29, the fourth line, we have these two fifths. And we cross over. And then in the next measure, we're going to skip down to here. Again, cross over, and we skip down again. Oh, actually we step down, don't we? And cross over. That's all pretty consistent. Now this first note of this line, don't miss this. It's easy to miss this. So this note actually is part of this pattern. So if we go back, I'm just going to go back to the last measure of the previous line. That happened, didn't it? Now this that's how the last line goes. So we find this fifth. Here's another fifth, but since you have a sixth above it, you're going to use your fourth finger to play it. So those are the notes. The rhythm is and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So a little metric dissonance, 5 notes in a 4 bar pattern. Okay, I'll play the whole piece for you now and I'll kind of talk you through it. So from the beginning, we've got fifth, up, a third, up, cross, up, cross. Do it again, softly, growing, up a third, up, now skip down. Same thing here, growing, go up and cross, softly, go up and cross. I'm at measure 13. I go down, 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 and cross. Down with a sixth. Don't forget your thumb. Second page. Go up and cross. Up. Second finger. Second line. Up a third. Up a step. Cross. Down a third. Now here's the sixth coming up. Start with fifth. Turns into a sixth. Cross. Again, fifths. Go down to a sixth. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. I would do a lot of blocked practice in this piece. You could play the whole piece. Let's just focus on the music here once, like this. Let's just keep it focused on the music here. We have measure 1, 2, 3, 4. Second line, 1, 2, 3, 4. Third line, 1, 2. Third measure, fourth measure. Last line, first measure, second measure, third measure, fourth measure. So you could go through the whole piece playing it blocked that way. Good luck.